So the kind of aftershock of the Springboks loss to Ireland has kind of simmered down a bit, and everyone can kind of catch their breath and think about what happened. We had a look at how the Irish were able to breach the Springboks defense in a previous video. You can check out the channel and have a look at that. But obviously this week, the general consensus from a lot of the media is, the Springboks are too old. Some of these guys need to move on. I don't think really that's the attitude for anyone to take. I think, this is the same Springboks side that won the World Cup 7 or 8 months ago. Nothing's really changed. Most of them went straight back into their respective seasons, whether it was Japan or England or France. The team itself looked extremely sharp in the first test against Ireland and Pretoria. Admittedly, in that second test, the team did look a little more lethargic than usual. There was a lack of enthusiasm from some of the guys. It just looked tired. And I think it's a sign that there's just way too much rugby being played by some of those key players. South Africa has really deep squad, a lot of depth, a lot of breadth also in some of the positions. But a lot of those guys have just put in a lot of time because there's been a lot of tough games for them to play. Even I think the hangover from the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the final itself is still weighing mentally on the players. There's no doubt that this Irish series, it couldn't have been a more formidable opponent, an opponent that there was a little bit of spice and rivalry to. So the Boks weren't able to kind of switch off over the last couple of months. Whether it's physical or mental, there's some fatigue that is taking place with the guys. But many saying that the whole team needs to kind of be washed out, or any guys over 30 need to kind of hit the sidelines, I think is a bit of an extreme case. I don't think you need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Some guys just need to be rested, some extra conditioning taking place, and maybe just giving these guys a bit of a mental break from that top tier elite test level rugby, especially against a team like Ireland, which obviously took a lot of mental capacity for the guys to get up for. If you think about someone like Pieter-Steph du Toit, he's played an incredible amount of rugby since the World Cup and is playing at an incredibly high level, often topping the tackle list, meters run, and a whole bunch of other stats. So rest is needed, but it's actually quite a fortuitous thing at the moment because the next test match for the Boks is Portugal. They've actually been playing really good rugby as of late, and they've actually had a pretty good run of form, beating some of the bigger nations up north in the European leagues below that of the Six Nations. But there's no doubt that they're not in the league of South Africa. So with all due respect to Portugal, it is a good opportunity for Rassie and his coaching staff to throw in some new players and give them a chance. And he's named a squad, and he's done exactly that. On top of giving some of the new guys an opportunity, he's also brought some of those guys from Rassie's shadow squad, the boys who were simulating the opposition during the World Cup later stages, as well as during the Irish series. Guys like Andre Esterhuizen, Manie Lebok, Lukanya and Evan Ruiz. And on top of that, Salman Murat gets his chance to wear the captain's armband, which I must be honest is a little bit of a surprising call, but Rassie obviously sees something in him, some leadership qualities that can be showcased on Saturday. So it's good to see Thomas du Toit getting a chance at prop. If it wasn't for the scrumming prowess of Ox, he definitely would be getting more of a chance. And besides Trevor Nyakani on the bench, it's a relatively fresh-faced bench to come on, which changes the whole dynamic of what the bomb squad could potentially be, which is another little tale that South African rugby can embark on and see who can fit into that impact role going forward. Overall, while the Irish series should have been closed up by the Springboks, they should have put an end to that whole debate about who's the better team. Props to the Irish. They deserve to win that second test. There's no debate. There was very little contentious issues with that whole game. And it's a great opportunity for the Springboks to kind of reset now and look at what their next plan is for the forthcoming months and building into the next Rugby Championship and what that's going to challenge them with. New Zealand were looking not as sharp as usual when they played England in these past 2 test series. And the Wallabies, without a doubt, are improving despite Wales not putting up too much of a fight. Really looking forward to what's going to happen. Please comment down below. Tell us what you think. Let us know what kind of content you like. And remember to hit subscribe and that notification button. We'll see you in the next one.